Welcome to the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast, a show all about reviewing dinosaurs on a scale of 1 to 10 fossils before only the elite terrible lizards make it into the prehistoric cage match. This program is presented by the snowplow-like company and can be heard within all the rock layers across the planet. Grab your dinosaurs and your official scorecard because it's now time to dig for dinosaurs. Here's your Mesozoic host, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony.
Ciao mio magnifico Giovanni Paleontologo! Huh? Did you guys catch that? I said hello, my magnificent junior paleontologist, but in Italian. Now, why is your famoso host, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, speaking Italiano? And it's because I'm around 25% Italian. Is that cool or what? I knew I liked pizza and pasta for a reason, and don't forget about those breadsticks, those garlic bread. I just love garlic. I'm starting to get hungry, you guys. Well, nonetheless, welcome back to the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. Are you ready to take a prehistoric tour of Italy, Italia? I just love Italy so much, you guys. Well, let's go ahead and get started, or should I say, andiamo. Now, you guys, it all started around 70 years ago when my grandpa Tony migrated from Terravecchia, Calabria, Italia, and came to America. He migrated from Italy to America to start a new life, to have the American dream, to be able to do anything here in America and to have the freedom. But before we make some awesome pizza pies, or maybe my grandpa Tony's famous spaghetti and meatballs, let's update you guys on some dinopreneur news. Now, you guys, my Patreon Club virtual lessons for the month of November are all set. This Sunday, November 13th, we'll be talking about dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures from the country of, you guessed it, Italia. We'll be talking about today's genus and so much more this Sunday on our Dinosaurs of Italy virtual lesson. And then the Sunday before Thanksgiving on November 20th, we'll be talking about dinosaurs and Native Americans. Did the Native Americans, the indigenous people from America, North America, did they ever find dinosaur fossils? Did they help paleontologists look for fossils? Do they find dinosaur fossils on the reservations? We have so much to talk about the week before Thanksgiving. That one was on November 20th, and each of those lessons will be at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, this Wednesday, you guys, I'll be making over 100 Stomp Chomp Roar dig kits, 30 slime kits, and 30 salt dough fossil kits as I get ready for the holidays. It's almost the Christmas season. I'm getting some merchandise ready to sell over the month during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then throughout the month of December. So it's going to be so much fun making all that stuff this Wednesday. I've got some time blocked out on my calendar so I can get all that merchandise made for everybody shopping here locally in Omaha, Nebraska, and people country, maybe even worldwide. Well, you guys, you can also come and see me at the Dragon's Closet Craft Fair. That will be in Gretna on the last Saturday of November. I believe it's Saturday, November 26th. I'll be doing my fossil show out there, and I'll also be selling all my merchandise at my table. Now, you guys, I'm also setting up my Christmas lights display. If you guys remember from last year, I set up a couple inflatables, an electric fence made out of Christmas lights. I decorated my house all ready for like a Cretaceous Christmas. So this is going to be year number 2 of the dinosaur lights display, and it's getting even better. I bought 2 more inflatables. I'm making a Santa Claus workshop display that's going to be in my front room. I've got some new lights. It's just going to be wonderful. I even sent my junior dinosaur rangers on my Patreon club a little sneak peek this morning of what I have planned. And I might even even be doing my Christmas lights drive-by event that I did last year, where families came by, they drove down my street, took a look at the display, took pictures, got out, said hello to me. I had dig kits for sale, and I had tons of candy canes and Reese's Christmas trees to give out to everybody. It was just tons of fun, and I'm thinking about hopefully doing it again. Well, you guys, let's go ahead and give out some shout-outs for today. Happy birthday to James. We did a stomp and greet in my neighborhood a couple weekends ago for James. Shout out to happy birthday to Hayes. We did a hatchling adventure for Hayes 2 weekends ago. Had tons of fun, entertaining him all about prehistoric life. Fed paleo tons of fish. It was a great time. Happy birthday to Grant. We went and did a Triassic period birthday party for him the day before Halloween. It was just beautiful. It was fantastic. The weather was great. We had an awesome setup in their driveway. It was just tons of fun. And Hayes, our happy birthday to Hayes that I just mentioned, they even had a spot blocked off for me in the driveway with cones, and they made a sign that said reserved for the dinosaurs. It was just so cool, you guys. Now also shout out to Meadow Lane's in-home childcare. We went out and visited that in-home childcare last Wednesday, had tons of fun entertaining, educating their kiddos all about prehistoric life. Also, shout out to a happy birthday to Ellie and Charlie. We went and did a fantastic Triassic period birthday party this last Saturday. It was so much fun. I even seen Liam, who I did a birthday party for last summer, came back to this birthday party. It was just tons of fun. They had tons of kiddos, awesome cupcakes, awesome Rice Krispie treats. It was so much fun. Now, you guys, a last shout out to my grandpa Tony, you guys. Last Wednesday, November 2nd, was 20 years. I can't believe it. It was 20 years since my grandpa passed away. He helped raise me and my little brother. He was an amazing grandpa, and I miss him every day. My grandpa was from Italy and made the best spaghetti and meatballs. He even had a secret recipe that he learned from his mother, Maria, back in the old country. Now, thankfully, we found out the recipe before he passed away in 2002. So you guys, I have a candle down here in my science lab studio, so I thought I would light a candle for my grandpa as we dedicate this podcast today to him, because it's a dinosaur genus that is found in the country of Italy. So I love you, my grandpa Tony. Well, you guys, it's been a long time since I've made his spaghetti, and that just gives me idea. I think it's time to grab some mostaccioli pasta, some hamburger for our meatballs, and all the ingredients of our secret Southern Italy red sauce. But first, let's review an Italian dinosaur before we start cooking today. It's time for episode number 1 of season number 6. Can you guys believe it? 6 seasons already of the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. Well, let's go. Andiamo! Here we go, my junior paleontologists. Today's genus is all about the Tethyshadros. The Tethyshadros. And this dinosaur name meaning is the Hadrosaur from Tethys. The Hadrosaur from Tethys. Now, what is Tethys? Tethys is the Tethys Ocean that was back during the Mesozoic era, that was within the middle of the Sea of Pangaea. The Tethys Ocean was in the center of the sea around Pangaea, and the rest of the waters all around the sea was the Panthalassic Ocean. So there was 2 oceans back during the Mesozoic era, and this one, our Tethys Ocean, is the name meaning of the Hadrosaur from Tethys, or the Tethyshadros. So that is our genus for today. Now, what kind of dinosaur is the Tethyshadros? You guys, this dinosaur is an ornithischian, which is a bird-hipped dinosaur. Then it falls into that ornithopod suborder. Those are herbivore dinosaurs. And then it falls in that Hadrosaur family. So it's an ornithischian, ornithopod, and then a hadrosaurid. That is our dinosaur order for our Tethyshadros. So how big was this dinosaur? Its length, its height, its weight. So this hadrosaur duckbill dinosaur, the Tethyshadros, is a lot smaller than our famous ones like Parasaurolophus, maybe Edmontosaurus, Lambeosaurus. So this dinosaur, this hadrosaur duckbill dinosaur, the Tethyshadros, is a lot smaller, more than half the size of our Parasaurolophus. This one up to 15 feet long from nose to tail, only about 6 to 10 feet high, and then 1,300 pounds. So again, 15 feet long or 4.5 meters, 6 to 10 feet high or 1.8 to 3 meters, and only about 1,300 pounds or 1,300. Now, originally thought the Tethyshadros, they originally thought it was maybe had insular dwarfism. And what that means is when some of the species, the genus, the dinosaurs would migrate around, they would get trapped on an island as the water levels went up and down. So as a species, the Tethyshadros, they believe might have got stuck on some islands, and there isn't as much vegetation, not as much food. So over time, as the species evolves, they get smaller and smaller and smaller. So they first thought that our Tethyshadros had a little bit of this insular dwarfism, but we'll talk more about that later on. Now, how fast was this dinosaur? The Tethyshadros is coming in around 20 to 24 miles per hour, we believe, in a bipedal stance. They're walking on two legs, but they also could get down on all fours as they're slowly walking around, maybe eating, getting all kinds of vegetation off the ground, all types of low-lying plants, vegetation, ferns, mosses, maybe even some of the low-lying branches from the trees. So it could walk on 2 and 4 legs. Now, what are some of the weapons, defense of this dinosaur, and other characteristics? So you guys, imagine I have an Edmontosaurus right here. Imagine kind of like an Edmontosaurus, another type of duckbill dinosaur, but much smaller. Remember, this one only about 15 feet long from their snout, their nose, all the way back to their long tail. The Tethyshadros has about a 3-foot skull and an elongated snout. So they have a pretty long snout like we see on our duckbills. But this one doesn't have a normal duckbill. What sets our Tethyshadros apart from those other ones is they have more of a rigid snowplow-like toothless beak. So their bill is kind of rigid at the end, and then it's kind of like a snowplow. So think of the blade of the snowplow or maybe a shovel. They kind of have this snowplow-like beak. It's very cool, very unique. I really love it. Now, what is it going to be used for? Some people believe that maybe they could use it a little bit more for crushing shells, because remember, they're living around the islands. Because back during the Cretaceous period, Europe today wasn't what it is now. It was a more of an archipelago, and what that means is a group of islands. So there was a lot of water over Europe back during the Cretaceous period, much of the Mesozoic era. So we had all of these islands. So our Tethyshadros living on the islands might be eating all kinds of food around the coastlines, maybe crunching on all types of shells with that rigid snowplow-like beak. Now they had the toothless beak in the front, but they had cheek teeth back in the back in dental batteries, and they believe they sharpen themselves as they're grinding down all the food. Their teeth are passing by each other and they're self-sharpening. I've also read that the teeth in the front are older and they grow newer teeth in the back, and they can slowly make their way forward, and they replace those older teeth in the front as they fall out with the newer teeth back in the rear. Now, this one is a herbivore, as we know, just like the other duckbill dinosaurs, but maybe even an omnivore, as they're munching on all kinds of little things from the coastline. Maybe small crustaceans, all types of shell creatures, eating all kinds of seafood. I love seafood. Well, you guys, they had a bulky body, just like our other hadrosaur-type dinosaurs, very strong hind legs, and their front hands formed into somewhat of a fleshy pad as they're walking around gathering all kinds of vegetation. They have a 3-toed foot and a very long tail behind them. Nowhere near a diplodocus, but they have a long tail because dinosaurs have long tails to help balance themselves as they're running all throughout the Mesozoic era. They can keep balance as they're running on those hollow lightweight bones, those 2 legs, as they're running all throughout their environment. So you guys, guys, where did this dinosaur live, and how long did the Tethyshadros species or genus live during the Mesozoic era? So this one in the fossil record is coming around 71 to 70 million years ago during that late Cretaceous period. Probably would have been around at the time of extinction. Maybe could have seen the asteroid flying throughout the sky as it's going towards the Chicxulub crater down there off the Yucatan Peninsula. Now they find this one, you guys, down in Trieste, Italy, and they find it in chalkstone quarry, and they removed 300 tons of rock down there in that quarry, and they found the holotype species, or the holotype genus, which they nicknamed, guess what? Antonio, which happens to be the name of my grandpa Tony. Antonio! Just an awesome name, and as you guessed it, that's where I got my name, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony. I was named after my grandpa Tony, my grandpa Antonio. Tony is just a nickname or a short name for Antonio, and even some people call me Tony, but I always like to be Anthony because my grandpa was Tony. Well, you guys, it was one of the most complete fossil specimens of Europe of this medium-sized Hadrosaurus dinosaur, nicknamed Antonio the Tethyshadros. And you guys, it was found back in 1994, named in 2009 by the paleontologist Dalla Vecchia. So very cool, very awesome, you guys. And they even found some more species, about a herd of 11 of these Tethyshadros down there, and they even found one that they nicknamed Bruno. Now, Bruno is 15 to 20% larger than Antonio. So remember how I mentioned that they thought Antonio or the Tethyshadros had insular dwarfism? Well, now they believe that maybe Antonio was just a sub-adult. It wasn't fully grown yet. And Bruno was a much larger specimen. So they believe that maybe it didn't have insular dwarfism. It might have just been a little bit smaller than our hadrosaurs of North America. So very cool, the Tethyshadros. What are we going to give it a score? An official fossil score on the Dinosaur Review for Kids. Remember, 1 fossil for some of the weakest dinosaurs, 10 fossils for some of the strongest dinosaurs. So you guys, andiamo! What are we going to give the Tethyshadros on our fossil scale, you guys? It was difficult because this one means a lot to me. A genus dinosaur from Italy, Italia, from my roots, my ancestry, back in the home country, the old country of Italy. I wanted to give it a good score, but I knew I couldn't give it higher than what the Parasaurolophus had. So you guys, at the end of the day, I'm going to give this dinosaur genus a 5.5. There we have it, a 5.5 for the famous Tethyshadros. Bueno, bueno, bueno! That means good in Italiano! What a good review. I always love a good duckbill dinosaur. They are one of my favorite dinosaur families, and being Italian, I can never go against the family. Now you guys, let's go ahead and cook our pasta, our famous recipe back from the old country, our spaghetti and meatballs. What we need 2 pounds of hamburger. We need garlic salt, garlic powder, black pepper, oregano, parmesan, 2 eggs, basil, and last but not least, we need some... Wait! I can't tell you guys the secret ingredient, otherwise I would have to send the Sopranosaurus, I mean the Spinosaurus after you all. I'm just kidding, you guys, but nonetheless, what an awesome review today, you guys. The Tethyshadros, an awesome, unique duckbill dinosaur. You guys know I love the duckbills, but all of this talk of Italy, I think our 6th prehistoric cage match might have to take place inside of the famous Roman Colosseum, you guys. Have you seen pictures of the Colosseum? It is just a magnifico structure, such great architecture back during the Roman times. And I think our 6th dinosaur battle might have to take place over in Tethyshadros Colosseum. I can't wait, but we have tons of dinosaur species to talk about before we get to that 6th prehistoric cage match. Well, you guys, before we go, we know we always have to say an awesome joke. Why don't we ever get to see a real Tethyshadros on our planet today? Let me say it again. Why don't we ever get to see a real Tethyshadros on our planet today? It's because they pasta away. They pasta away. They passed away or they pasta away. Nonetheless, you guys, that's totally awesome. I love pasta. I love pizza. I love garlic. I love all kinds of Italian food. Cannolis for dessert. They're just totally awesome. That's it, everyone. All this talk is making me want to actually get some pasta. I think I'll head on over to the Olive Garden and you'll catch me in my favorite corner booth with my 5-cheese baked ziti. It's delizioso. Now, don't forget about the salad and breadsticks. But remember, my name is Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, your Italiano host for today's podcast, and keep digging for dinosaurs. Or should I say, you guys, I should say it in Italian, right? Continua a scavare per I dinosauri. We'll see you guys next time.